fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
I stared blankly at my computer screen, the cursor blinking mockingly as I struggled to come up with anything that wasn't about being a playwright. The fluorescent lights above hummed in unison with the gentle whir of the air conditioning, creating a sense of monotony that seemed to suffocate me. It had been months since I'd written a play that wasn't about the struggles of being a playwright, the agony of writer's block, or the thrill of a successful premiere. My agent was breathing down my neck, my publisher was threatening to drop me, and I was starting to think that I'd never be able to write about anything else again. The pressure was mounting, and I could feel the weight of my own expectations bearing down on me like a physical force. I'd always loved writing, had always been drawn to the world of theater and the magic of bringing characters to life on stage. But now it felt like a chore, a never-ending cycle of self-referential navel-gazing. I was a playwright who wrote about being a playwright, and it was suffocating me. As I sat there, feeling sorry for myself, my phone buzzed with an incoming text from my best friend Rachel. "Hey girl, I have an idea. Why don't you take a break from writing and come work with me at the bakery for a while? You can be our new pastry chef." I laughed despite myself. Rachel had always been the optimist, the one who saw the best in people and situations. And as much as I loved her, I couldn't help but think that she was crazy. Me, a pastry chef, I could barely boil water, but desperate for a change of scenery and a chance to clear my head, I agreed to give it a shot. I packed up my laptop and notes, said goodbye to my tiny apartment, and headed to the bakery. The first few days were a disaster. I burned batches of croissants, overmixed dough, and managed to get flour everywhere. The kitchen was a whirlwind of activity, with pots and pans clanging and the aroma of freshly baked bread wafting through the air. But as the days turned into weeks, I started to get the hang of it. I learned how to make the perfect baguette, how to craft intricate sugar flowers, and how to create desserts that were almost too beautiful to eat. And as I worked, I started to notice the people around me. There was Marco, the handsome and charming head baker, whose touch sent sparks through me every time he brushed past. His voice, deep and commanding, made my pulse race. One evening, as the bakery closed, he cornered me near the ovens. "You're getting better," he said, his fingers tracing my flour-dusted cheek, "but you're still holding back." His gaze was intense, his body close enough that I could feel the heat radiating from him. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "You know what I mean," he replied, his lips inches from mine. The air between us crackled with tension, and for the first time in months I felt alive. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest and my skin tingling with anticipation. But before I could respond, the lights flickered and a cold draft swept through the room. Marco's expression darkened. "We're not alone," he muttered, pulling me closer. From the shadows, a voice hissed, "You shouldn't have come back." The voice sent shivers down my spine, and I felt a chill run through my veins. Who was this mysterious figure, and what did they want? I tried to step back, but Marco's grip on my arm was firm. "Don't move," he whispered, his eyes scanning the darkness. The air was thick with tension, and I could feel the weight of the unknown bearing down on me. Suddenly, the lights flickered again, and the voice spoke up. "You think you can just waltz in here and take over? You think you can just forget about your past and start anew?" The voice was like a knife, cutting through my defenses and striking at the very heart of me. I felt a surge of fear, and my mind began to racing. What did this person want from me, and how did they know so much about my past? Marco's grip on my arm tightened, and he pulled me closer. "Don't listen to them," he whispered. "They're just trying to scare you." But I couldn't shake off the feeling that this person was telling the truth. That I had been running from my past for too long, and it was time to face the music. The voice laughed, a cold, mirthless sound. "You'll never be able to escape your past," it said. "It will always catch up to you." And with that, the lights went out, plunging us into darkness. I was trapped with no way out, and I knew that I had to confront my demons once and for all. As I stood there, frozen in fear, I realized that I had a choice to make. I could let my past define me, or I could face it head-on and take control of my future. The decision was mine and mine alone. And as I made my choice, the darkness seemed to recede, and a glimmer of light appeared on the horizon. I took a deep breath and stepped forward into the unknown. The voice in the shadows laughed again, but this time it was different. This time it was a sound of triumph, of victory, and I knew that I had won. I had faced my fears, and I had come out on top. As the lights flickered back to life, I saw Marco standing in front of me, a look of concern etched on his face. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice low and gentle. I nodded, still trying to process what had just happened. "Yeah, I'm fine," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Marco's expression softened, and he reached out to brush a strand of hair out of my face. "You're not alone," he said. "I'm here for you." And in that moment, I knew that I had found something special. Something that went beyond the confines of the bakery or the world of theater. I had found a connection, a spark that ignited a flame of hope and possibility. and as I looked into Marco's eyes, I knew that I would never be alone again.